Yo, I don't know how to start my videos, so that's just gonna be how I do it, I guess. So, I was reminded of some news this week that Kramer is launching a Dave Mustaine signature guitar. I thought it had already come out, but I saw the promo on Instagram and was intrigued because from the promo pictures I've seen, the Kramer's the best looking guitar that they've made to me. And I wanted to see what they were going to do with the way they're revamping the Kramer brand and what the price point was going to be and how different they would do it. Because one thing that I don't see the purpose of Gibson is like stuck to their heritage. Like they're so afraid of doing anything different, which is like not what the company is based on. But it's a whole nother rant. But that being said, I'm not going to go in and trash Gibson too much, and I'm not going to be the person who tells you that they're the evil overlord of guitars and make 15 videos, because to me those people are just as bad as the people who get these guitars for free and tell you that you should go out and spend $1,300 on something. So let's before I jump into it, I wanted to read this Instagram post from Dave just because I thought it was funny. So I know he's old, he shouldn't be on Instagram, he's not on Instagram, somebody's doing it for him, he gets a pass. I just thought this was funny because it's so fake. It's so fake. But while on our recent Crush the World tour, when I would take the stage for our first number, Hangar 18, my adrenaline is racing. I'm not nervous, I'm pumped. I get handed my guitar each night by my guitar tech, and some nights he throws it right off the stage, right back at his guitar tech, if you remember that. And I head out onto the stage to do my job. Imagine my surprise when I get a few songs into our set and I realize I was not given my Gibson signature Flying V. I was given my new Kramer signature Flying V, and soon after, my new Epiphone signature Flying V. The playing ability of these guitars is superb, and if I didn't look down at the legs on these beauties, I would never have known the difference. Excellent guitars from excellent companies. These are serious metal weapons. That is so cheesy. That is so cheesy. Anyway, let's jump into this because I got a lot to cover here. Let's jump straight in. Like I said, this was the guitar I was most excited about, and I'm going to be looking at them like from price-wise, least expensive to most expensive. Yes, $12.99 being least expensive, that's problem number one. But going through some of the specs, as much as I want to jump up and down, I'll let you decide what you think the value is or what you think these guitars are worth. And then I'll show you at the end some guitars that I would compare to them and something that I would keep in mind if I was shopping around for a guitar like this. So right in, this is the Vanguard, which I don't know why they call it the Vanguard because the Vanguard looked nothing like this. Anyway, it's also very reminiscent of the King V. Listen there, Kramer. Play authentic, okay? You stay in your own lane. But no, like this is the most Dave Mustaine looking guitar that I've seen from Gibson or Epiphone or Kramer. The green finish doesn't cost anymore. The black is a little too plain for me. The silver Flying V's have become like what I associate Dave with, going all the way back to his Jacksons. So it's a toss up between which one I like more. The green one's very cool, but just a rundown. So the Kramer, $12.99, mahogany body, obviously no binding, set neck, by the way. I would have liked to see them do something a little bit different, like neck through especially, but a 25.5-inch scale length. It says medium C Dave Mustaine custom profile, whatever that means. I'm gonna reiterate this many times. Don't take any of these phrases as gospel. Grab one of these guitars and feel it. Make a decision for yourself on what the neck profile feels like to you, because there's so much left to be interpreted through the way that they describe things like this. But comes with a Graphtec nut, Grover mini tuners, ebony fretboard, passive Seymour Duncan thrash factor pickups, which I believe is Dave Mustaine's passive signature. I know he had the Duncan, or the Livewire was his active pickup. I don't even know if they make those anymore, but does come with a case. That's a good value. No, I don't know how much of that price is justified by a case, but it's a nice case, I'm not gonna lie. Jumbo frets, a 12-inch radius. The biggest red flag, and this goes for Kramer and Epiphone, I'll show you they have the same thing too. If you scroll down, they have this disclaimer here. In order to continually improve the design, quality, and performance of our products and instruments, and to make use of the best materials at all times, Kramer reserves the right to change specifications without notice. Basically meaning the guitar that you order, it may not come as described, and they are not liable. To me, right off the bat, coming from a corporation, that tells me, hey, we're going to change based on what's cheap, what's cheaper, and what's available to us, and what we can do in the factory. And if it's different than what you expected, tough. Tough. That's a huge red flag. I would like more clarification. And I'll go into my feelings about that once I get past the Epiphone. Because like I said, just for the Epiphone and the Kramer, they have that disclaimer. This is a little look at the case that comes with the Epiphone and the Kramer. It's fitted, which is nice. With a guitar like this, you need something that's going to hold that guitar and not bang it around and break off the tips. But this is a quick look at the Epiphone. This is $100 more. And what you get for $100 more, you get binding, and you get a 24 3/4 inch scale length. Everything about this guitar is the exact same as the Kramer. They're both made in China. They will not tell you that on this website. You'll have to look somewhere else to figure that out for yourself. But you can assume that these guitars are imports, but you don't know from where. And that's kind of important because what country it comes from will give you a better understanding of what factory it might be coming from. All these companies use some of the same factories. And once you understand that, once you feel some of these import guitars, you'll be more comfortable buying from places like Indonesia and China and Korea and India. And that's why it's important, one, to know where it comes from, to play them, but also for me, if a guitar is being made by a CNC in China or a CNC in Nashville, I don't see that being a $3,000 price difference, which we'll get into in a minute. Anyway, that's the only thing I want to mention on this one. There's no difference. Everything's the same. Everything is the same, except they do say they changed the neck profile. It just says artist profile for the neck profile. Medium jumbo frets as well. They don't say jumbo, they say medium jumbo. Those are the two things for me that I feel like that disclaimer covers because it's on Epiphone 2. Same disclaimer, the only word that changes is Kramer and Epiphone. So based on that factor, and I'll say it on this one too, this also describes the neck profile different, and this one also says jumbo frets, not medium jumbo. So that's where my suspicion comes in, that the frets and the neck profile may be different than what is described. That's why I said it's important to get it in your hands and play it, because you don't know what you're going to get. This one you actually do see a little bit of a value increase. It's a maple veneer, binding, Fishman active pickups. Same thing, 24 3/4 inch scale length. All these guitars, the Kramer and both Epiphones, are a 12-inch radius. And there's no other increase in value. Same wood, same construction, set neck, Graphtec nut, Grover tuners. Decide for yourself how much that would be worth for you. Now we're going to go into the twilight zone of where hilarity ensues. We've all seen this guitar. I don't know what else to say. It's very inconsistent from what I've seen. A lot of the finishes are coming out like they finish them with no filler and it comes in looking like a studio guitar. The biggest thing for me is that there's no value increase. It's made by a CNC in Nashville instead of a CNC in China, and now you're paying $1,500 more. Same wood, set neck. This is also a 25.5-inch scale length. I'm going off my notes here. This is, again, says medium jumbo, but it also says compound radius. It doesn't say what the radius is. It just says compound. See if I can pull it up here. Yeah, compound. Everything else is 12-inch radius. It also says slim taper. Again, what does that mean? I've seen a few descriptions of it, or how people would describe it after they've played it. I would really say just play one, get it in your hands, which is so scary because nobody has these guitars in stock. There's not many places, especially around me, where you just go up and grab one and play it, figure out for yourself. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this guitar. That being said, if you buy this guitar, someone should beat you over the head with it. This is stupid. If you spend $7,000 on this guitar, you should. I really feel like somebody should grab it, like the hockey stick it is, and cross-check you with it. It's stupid. $7,000. You know what you get for $7,000 that you don't get on any of the other guitars we've seen? It's back to a 12-inch radius, so you're not getting a compound radius. Medium jumbo frets, no stainless steel frets. Medium jumbo. The same passive Seymour Duncan Thrash Factor pickups. A Tusk nut, which is the only upgrade. Well, okay, I'll be fair. It's a maple top. That's the only upgrade. It's got binding. Maple top. That's it. $4,000. Over $4,000. But don't forget, you get a COA and hide glue. There is a value that they do add. You do get a certificate of authenticity. They probably put your name on a list, which should be like, this dude was dumb enough to spend $7,000 on this guitar. So we had to write his name down somewhere. Also, they use hide glue. You know, the technology they used like 70 years ago that the cork sniffers swear by. The same people that say like nitrocellulose is the best finish because it doesn't like choke out the resonance of your body. Those people are the ones that want hide glue. Okay? There's certain words I would use to describe those people. I have to think of a new term like the Gibson list, the COA list. Or like you should be able to recognize them by the dent of this stupid strap button placement that smacks them upside the head for spending $7,000 on this guitar with no... I see no warrant to that at all. But whatever. I mean, we can go on about, you know, like final assembly and who is doing the fret leveling and things like that. There's an importance to that. But with the QC being like it is, $7,000 on something, and no, that's another big problem for me is no Dave Mustaine fan is buying this guitar. He like nobody associates these guitars with Dave Mustaine yet. So other than the Kramer, I don't see these guitars grabbing the attention of people who are Dave Mustaine fans. I was a huge Dave Mustaine fan when I was a kid. Like by far my favorite band when I was in like middle and high school, but it was Jackson for me. I still love Jackson guitars. And I'll get to them in a minute. But one thing I wanted to compare, if somebody was really looking for not even a Dave Mustaine guitar, but like a metal guitar, and they wanted something that they felt was worth $1,400 or $1,500, you know, they didn't have USA or custom shop guitar money, but they were looking to spend $1,500 on something that's really nice. One thing that I looked at was the brand that he just left. And I know they're kind of seeming to go downhill, but production-wise, it's staying pretty consistent from what I've seen. The company is being led from the top downhill, but the guitars are coming out the same. This coming in at $1,499, an Indonesian-made Dean V with an Evertune, with Fishman active pickups, with, I'm sure that's a veneer. I'll go back down and look at it. Graphtec nut. Same thing, 25.5-inch scale length. Is it a set neck? Oh, double action truss rod. This is an improvement over a Gibson. You get a double action truss rod, which is something that's important to me if I'm spending this much money on a guitar. Hopefully you don't need it, but it's an actual value adder. Stainless steel frets. That's a value adder right there. That guitar to me is worth... It's closer to being worth that money over anything else that we've seen so far. And that's comparable. Think back to that Epiphone. This one right here. This is the same price point. And what you're not getting from this guitar that you are getting from that one. You don't get a case with that Dean, but it's still an import. You're getting an Evertune, which is a huge upgrade. If you were to upgrade to that tremolo, you know, if you look at it, that's like $250, $260. Plus, you're going to pay at least somebody another $200 to put it on. Also, let me double check that top. I want to see if that top's a veneer or not. If it just says flame maple. It doesn't say veneer. I feel like they would have to disclose it. Everybody discloses it if it's a veneer. It's like they're not ashamed of it. Which, I mean, you shouldn't be, but you should also know that, like, if you're paying this money for something, you're getting a veneer. You should know that. But, like I'm saying, like a middle-of-the-road guitar, somebody who's looking to really spend a sizable amount of money to me. $1,500 for a guitar is nothing to to just pass off as like entry level guitar. Like, this is somebody who wants something nice that they can depend on, and that they can really expect a value over an entry level guitar for. Something like this is in that category for me. And there's other brands that I could have brought up. I just happened to bring them up because Dave just left, and they're still producing his shapes, and he's played them since around 2008, I believe. So he's become associated as much with this to maybe not like somebody like me who by the time I was alive, he was still with Jackson, but not for very long. I associate him with Dean just as much now, especially knowing how Jackson and their relationship ended. But that being said, Jackson is still a brand that's making really good import guitars for the price range of somebody who wants something inspired by metal or inspired by Dave Mustaine, or something that they see value in spending a little bit more money than, like, you know, this entry level. You see here, $329. These can still be good guitars, but this is very much like an entry level guitar. If you go to something like this, I was comparing this to what we were looking at earlier with the Kramer. The body is also very similar. But with this, you're getting neck through. You're getting Duncan design passive pickups, but they're the 103 set, so they're based on the distortion set. You don't get a case, and Duncan design pickups are nothing to shake your fist at. Yeah, compound radius 12 to 16, same medium jumbo frets, die cast tuners. They're okay. Like, usually tuners are going to be the first thing you upgrade anyway, but I see much more value in spending less money and getting something like this than spending $1,200 on a Kramer, especially when you look at the Pro Series, which is these are made in Indonesia, by the way. Pro Series is the same thing, made in Indonesia. I think this one's a veneer. This green one is an actual maple top, but you're getting an upgrade to like Godot hardware, locking, Jackson tuners, things that are a little bit more of a value at a little bit less of a price. But that's when it comes in, like, that money that you save, is it worth it to get the case with the Kramer? I don't know. Now we're kind of splitting hairs, but to me, something like this guitar right here, $799 X Series, EMGs, Floyd Rose, locking nut, neck through. This guitar, to me, I would buy 10 times out of 10 over the Kramer. I also know what I'm expecting out of that. Going into another aspect of guitar shopping, the first place that I look, and that I think anybody should really look, is used. Like, especially when you have the opportunity to go somewhere like a Guitar Center that has a big used section where you can really see different things that they may not sell new, but they're getting in used, or music go round. There's a music go round near me that's really cool. It's always worth checking out. Check the used market, because just on my hunt today of examples to bring up, I found this guy. This is a seller who seems to have bought a bunch of B-stock Deans that they sold off to disassociate themselves with the man. $699 for this guitar that's spec'd identical to the Kramer and that Epiphone Custom, literally half the price. You're not getting a case, but having a guitar shipped without a case, it's not scary to me. I've had done most of the time. I'm playing in here anyway, so I don't really need a case. But as far as value goes, that's what I'm saying. Decide for yourself where that value is, because this guitar is exactly the same as the Kramer. You may not like the graphic. This guy's got a bunch of other stuff. They also have like silver ones, plain ones, and look at other models too. LTD makes a ton of stuff. You can look at used Jacksons, like especially the Japanese made. If you're looking to spend around $1,000, look at a Japanese made Jackson from 10 years ago or so. That's what's worth spending money on to me. That being said, going on the ridiculous thing, like top of the line, things that I look for that I would be looking to buy one day, not only as a Dave fan, as a Megadeth fan, as a metal fan, this is what I would be more quick to spend my money on. $3,500. I ran the serial number. This is a 2001 KV2, which the top of the line guitar was the KV1. That was the Dave Mustaine signature. That's why they don't make it anymore. KV1 was the Dave Mustaine signature. So this is like custom shop Jackson, $3,500, pre-Fender. This is something that I would be more quick to spend my money on. But that's enough of this crap, I guess. I didn't want to crap on Gibson too much or go on praising Jackson because I'm a Jackson fan. I'm not a Jackson fanboy, though. I've seen and played some dog water Jacksons, too. Like, I know they're not for everybody, but if you're in the metal world, like, that's not a brand that's worth writing off just because they're owned by Fender now and they're just now getting into USA production stuff, mostly Indonesia and China is where the majority of their lines have been made. But just look at the used market and see what you may find. Your money goes farther in other places than what you may think. And like, just to end the video, like, who is Gibson and who is Kramer making these guitars for? If you have one and love one, I would love to hear your feedback. Hopefully I get the opportunity to hold one and play one in the future. It's not going to be from me buying it, I can tell you that, because I'm not going to take that risk. And I'm also not the guy who's like going to buy something with the intention of immediately sending it back to just try it out. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Whatever. Go be about your day. Go shred. Go play whatever guitar you like. Do you.
Eat at work. You're prostituting yourself out for cheeseburgers again, aren't you? Man's gotta eat, Julian.